year I sold a little less than 500,000, and the second year I sold 500 plus. The third year I sold close to 1 million. I know, I got President Club twice already, and sorry, Chairman's Club twice, and President Club once. In the first year, it was the first year, and I got the Rookie of the Year. I was the first ever Rookie of the Year at the conference.
First ever what?
Rookie of the Year. But I think what made the success was the passion and the enthusiasm I put in my work, this being my dream in life, doing this job, etc. So I think the client gets it that I like what I do and I truly care. I always say, might be a slight lie, but I always say to my clients, look, to me money, I don't care. For me, the goal is for you to look good.
Well, sure, I tell them also.
Like sales, I said sales for me, I always say, I don't even need to work, I'm just here to make it good. So, it shows like a true interest in your client, and the one thing I learned also from my prior job, I was a salesperson selling precious stones, is always put yourself in your customer's shoes. Because the mistake that our employees make is try to get the most out of their customer and make a sale out of them, but see yourself, see what he sees, make him feel comfortable and within his budget and within his taste, etc. So I think that helped me a lot to get more and more clients and people entrusting me with their clothing, entrusting me with their family's clothing and their father and their grandfather, etc. So number one advice I have for someone is to either grow a passion for this, or come, if you want to work here, certainly have a passion for clothing and service and style, etc. So I think that's what helped me, double my business every year. Obviously the more clients you get, the more sales you will have, and that will come only if you do a good job and if you truly care about what you do and if you truly care about the people you work with.
Yeah. So think back to your first year. Like, how did you go from, yes, Dean Schatz, would love to work for Master and Black, to where you were at the end of your first year, which was almost at 500?
Well, everybody comes, I guess, with some relationships and friendships and communities or wherever they have around, and that's the starting point of a business. Because the first day you start, you just have a bag of fabrics and you don't really know what to do to contact. So the first people you should approach are the people that that are close to you in your town, your friends, your ex-colleagues, the people you went to school and so forth. So what I did from the first moment was to put everybody that I would encounter, or I would know, or I would think would be a potential prospect, and I would put them in a list, just like this that I printed out, and I would handwrite everything, because handwriting makes you remember, it makes you, opens a file in your mind for that person, so you never lose out of touch. So I would write all the people I would know, and I would counter, and people would refer in a list with their phone number and their email, and referred by, so that I could have a kind of a warm email or warm phone call telling them, hey, so-and-so referred me to you, and he said you might be interested. And I would write every time the last contact I had, because all of us know that once you reach out to someone, you're out of the blue. He's not going to say, oh, okay, let's meet tomorrow. He's going to probably push you off. And that's perfectly fine, because if he tells you no today, doesn't mean he tells you no tomorrow, in 2 months, or 3 months, or 6 months. Eventually, people will have a need. So I would write my last contact, and every time that I had a free moment, I would go over my list and say, oh, this guy spoke to him a month ago, so maybe I should contact him. And I would keep on doing until people would catch on and I would get appointments and so on. And then not only I would reach out to them individually, name by name, person by person, not by email, but I would also, it's prime to have everybody in some kind of constant contact list where you add everyone, all the business cards you get, every prospect, everyone you might find, you might think you might be interested, you add them into a main list, and then you don't have necessarily to reach out to them every time individually, you can just blast email. And I always made the comparison of the blast email to the fisherman that goes in the sea and throws a net. You throw a net, then whatever comes, comes. If one fish came, then you got a fish. So the constant contact, the blast email is like throwing a net, and whoever comes through, comes through. So that's that's how I grew my business, by reaching one by one and always keep in touch. Actually, I don't remember who was telling me this inspirational story about him following up on a client. Efraim was telling me that he just got a client after 6 months and was pursuing them. Well, great for Efraim, that's something everybody should do, because again, they're always going to put you up, but if you hold on to that referral, to that person, to that prospect, and keep on following, 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, is going to be your customer. And actually, I met a few months ago with a guy I had contact on Facebook for exactly when I started, 4 years ago, and he became a client after 4 years. He brought his father-in-law, his father, and his brother.
That's great.
It's always, never leave a prospect out. Keep on following up with them, keep them in the loop, have them keep you in their loop, and so forth. And that's how you can grow the business.
Yeah. So when Guy and I started, there was no CRM. We still don't have CRM, but there was no marketing. There was no really back office. There was David and Amanda. There was nothing really.
I used to work in my basement.
Yeah.
I used to come to Manhattan every day, first alone and then with my dad when he started helping me out, and we used to work out in my car all day. We didn't have an office, like we did not have receptionists, assistants, and dry cleaning and delivery. And I mean, people today make it sound like it's so difficult, but we used to do it under much tougher circumstances, and we did great, and even more than what people do.
Yeah, for sure, even more than what people do. So, which is a little confusing, but what Guy's talking about is kind of the casting the net and hoping stuff comes in. We'll do that for you right now. Like, it's always been, we've had to sign up for Constant Contact and kind of pay that $40 a month to send emails out to every client. But right now, as long as your as long as your info is correct in the .net, that's what we do.
Prospective clients. You're talking about clients that already.
So
but all of them go in your Constant Contact, or your Astrum Black thing, or your CRM thing.
Exactly.
You should be using Constant Contact personally.
You can. It's an option. You don't need to at this point because we're marketing to your clients.
Yeah, you're marketing to existing clients.
But people who are potential clients, you can enter their email info into the Astrum Black website. There's just a little link that says send emails or whatever, so you can do that. But in the new CRM and in the new
will the emails come from us, or they'll just be generic?
They'll come from the company. Yeah. So if you want to follow up with people, I would say follow up with them. I had always entered people into my .net even if they weren't clients, just so that they'd get emails from me.
Oh, really?
Marisa makes a very good point. Is there a way that we can do that?
Yeah, I mean, the .net system is a very flawed system right now, so you can potentially still enter them into your .net even though they're not a client, even though they're not a sale, so that they get stuff from you. That's what I had done in the past, so that they would get all the company emails.
And it does come from you? They get an email from you?
They're in your .net.
It says from your employer.
Whoever's .net system they're in at the time that the email blast goes out. So even clients who I've given to whoever, once the email goes out, even though they were my client, if it's in Stella's system, it says contact your Clothing or Stella Burn.
That's great.
Yeah.
So by the way, all this is really all my prospects and referrals, and I think probably 70% of them right now are clients, and the other ones I met and it didn't work out.
Give you $100 for the remainder.
Yeah, this is my CRM. You don't need CRM. It's all by hand, and it's all here, and you can follow and go through the pages every day of your life and reach out to people. So it's that easy. It's that easy. Just write them down and find them up, and you can follow up. Another thing that I do, you were asking me, is before you send out your wares list, etc., I learned this from you. I think I printed out all my clients by receipts. It's very important for you to know that 80% of your business is done by the 20%, your top 20% of your clients. So the top 20% of your clients are the one you're going to always see, you're going to always say, you can always count on orders and appointments. So it's important for you to know who these people are, and not only on a screen, but actually have it out so you can see and write down your notes, etc. So I printed out my top 200 clients and divide them by receipts. So this, if you reach out to these people, most probably they will reply because they know you and you already served them several times, hopefully. And either they're going to give you an appointment or they're going to tell you when, but they will give you an appointment sooner or later. So this is a top thing to do for everybody. Just if you go on the .net on your customer list and you click on the receipts button twice, it will then divide, sort them out from the biggest spender to the smallest spender, and then you can print out and follow up. And you will see that really what I'm saying is true, that the first people is the people that every month are on your receipt screen.
Yep.
Agree?
Yep, so the moral of the story in general is this is the CRM, this is the call list. I mean, we are developing these really great things, but you don't need them. They're not crippling you right now that we don't have them. You can still very much do your business, go about your day-to-day, sell to clients, and make people happy by just doing. You don't need a ton of stuff. So we are providing a ton of stuff, which is great, and that will do nothing but help you. But in the interim, it's not stopping you.
It's a numbers game. I mean, Christian Bain put it differently. If you have, I don't know, you make 100 phone calls a day, you get 5 hours. It's true. I mean, 90% of the people you reach out, either no one reply or they say no, but all you need is that one guy to say yes, and then it's a potential sale. Could make your week, could make your day, could make anything.
Yeah, and then it's a kind of a...
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
So whenever you're not busy, the only thing you should do is reach out to people, because it's going to feed your week, it's going to feed your income.
Yeah, and if ever there's a option where you've gone through this list and you've gone through everyone you know, you kind of, I always felt like when I started, I kind of had blinders on, like these are the people I need to contact, these are the areas I need to be in. I needed to really, a couple of times, to just kind of expand, like just sit there and think, like, this is what I've been thinking, I'm going to not think about that for a minute, where else could I think? Where else, what other events could I do? What, like, broaden my horizons. If I've been focusing on finance guys, let me take a minute and focus on medical guys. Are there medical guys I could be meeting with? And just kind of open it up. The world is literally your oyster. So don't be kind of closed-minded on thinking, and just be reaching out to the people you know, just be reaching out to the people in your .NET. Of course, those are your most important, because those are going to be hands down every single time easiest clients to sell to and the best people to reach out to, because they're already clients. But in meeting new clients, there's a big array of people out there that you can reach out to and meet them in very different ways, events or online or what have you.
It's important for you to know that if you reach out to someone, you're not disturbing them. You're actually giving them a service. Now, if they don't reply, don't think again you're disturbing them. They just, went through here and it came up. People are busy. If they get an email unnecessary, they're gonna read it. But understand that what we do is a service. I mean, everybody needs clothing, and everybody can have custom clothing. So you're doing actually the person a favor by reaching out. So don't be discouraged, like, oh, I'm gonna not email because maybe he's gonna get pissed. No, nobody's gonna get pissed. The worst they can do is not answer you, and you can always follow up. One thing I always do, I check this list and I see who answered me. If someone didn't answer me in 2-3 days or a week, I go back on my phone, I pick up the same email and I resend the same email.
You do?
Just to make, yeah, I resend all the time, just to make sure. Half the time when I resend, I actually do get a reply. Not like, hey, I got it last week and like I didn't reply to you then, why would I reply now? Right? People just don't see it, it happens. I also miss email, maybe you email me and I forget. You're busy. So again, this is what we do is a service. What we do is good for people, so don't be discouraged. One thing I don't like to do personally, and maybe some other people have different ideas, phone calls. I hate when people call me in the middle of the day. I'm busy. I'm sure you have people calling, it's annoying. But emails and texts, that's the easiest thing to do.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys open?
Yes, where are you?
Yes, we are.
Hey.
Man.
Stop it. You try it.
No, it's okay. Let me go grab it for you.
That's so funny, speaking of email.
That's it.
Okay, so what about getting from President's Club to Chairman's Club? That's a big hurdle, and that took you a couple years, a year.
Define presidents and define
So
chairmans.
President's Club, that's a good question, thank you.
Half a million.
$500,000 in a year, and right now it's a rolling year, so any 12 consecutive months that you have $500,000. It could potentially be changing to a calendar year based off of the equity, that would make it a little bit easier to draft equity. So that's a potential, but right now it's rolling 12, and then Chairman's Club is $1 million.
Well, once you're in the President's Club, it's easier because you have already that book of business and it just snowballs. It has a snowball effect and it becomes bigger and bigger.